Why would anybody drive this to church? You're about to find out.
Hey there, thanks for turning down my road. If this is your first time here, my name's Carl. My little brother and I both work for local farmers full time, but we both also farm together with our cattle herd and our hay operation. Everybody's involved, from the smallest to the biggest. If you don't have the joy of farming yourself, I'd love to help you experience it through this channel. Whatever your background, you found the right place. This is Dodge Brothers Farm and Ranch. Well, today is cattle sale day. It's the annual bull sale at Green Spring Valley Farm in Castalia, Iowa, and today they're selling cows too. So come along with us. So we had already had a good chance to look over the sheet that came in the mail last week about the sale, but we wanted to get there early and get a chance to take a look at some of these cows up close, figure out if there's any of them that we really liked, any of them we really didn't like for any reason or another. Dad was planning on buying 2 cows. Now, Dad's criteria for picking a cow was, if she licks my finger, that's the one I'm going to buy. In other words, you're looking for a cow that's fairly docile. You don't want a wild one that's going to tear you up and get you hurt. My brother and I were also thinking about buying a cow if the price was right, because we had to phase one out last year unexpectedly, so it was time to check them out.
You're going to buy the first one that comes and licks your hand?
I don't think it's gonna be.
I guess you're not going to get any of those. Have to try these over here.
Those are registered stuff to all your left.
347 licked my finger, so you could buy her.
She's a 7-year-old cow. She is a heck of a cow, ain't she? We'll go back to the day's price and get bid on it again. So that's how we're gonna do the cows. On the registered cows, that's what the breeding was.
872.
So this is the part of the sale that everybody loves, trying to decide how much you're going to spend. Dad signed up to bid already on some cows. Ben thinks he's hiding behind them, but you can still see him. So the way they worked the sale was every bull and every group of cows had a sign-up sheet on the board, and you'd put your name next to that group. If you were signed up for that group, you would come up and draw a card out of a deck of cards to establish the bidding order, and they just keep going around the circle, raising the bid by $50 per person until somebody was left standing all alone. You'd turn in your card when you wanted to quit bidding and walk away, and they'd get it down to one person, and then that one person that won the bid for the cows had the option to take the entire group of cows that they were bidding on or take individual cows out of that group. Well, the sale's over, and the market was a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. I don't know if this is an isolated incident of a bunch of guys who showed up with trailers and didn't want to leave with nothing or what, but we'll see. All right, I'm headed up to the barn to back up there and get these cows loaded up. We're just going to take all 3 of them down to Dad's. They're used to being together already. We're going to leave these 3 together until after they've calved and they go out to pasture and have a little more room. Then we'll get them acquainted with the other cows. Does she like you, Dad?
I guess. That's 140.
Well, she ought to. You know, a manure spreader makes a pretty good gate.
Oh, girls, one at a time.
Let them sniff it out. Two of them have found the water already.
So I've been getting a lot of questions about this bale feeder. This bale feeder is called the Hay Manager. They're manufactured in Trent, South Dakota. One thing that is interesting about these feeders is that they have a free-floating hay basket that can move around and keep the bale from getting frozen to it and stuck to it, but they don't have chains running from the feeder housing down to the center. They have a chain in the middle that you can use to adjust the height of the bale and how hard it is for the cows to access the bale. This, around the bale feeder right now, this is the mess from 6 round bales. I've just been dumping them in. It's pretty impressive. There's very little hay wastage. You can see the manure ring around the outside from where the cows have been standing the whole time. But this bale feeder is extremely efficient. As you can see, it's very simply built. It's built out of angle iron and square tubing. You notice there's holes on the bottom, so eventually, if you want, you can flip it over and hang the basket from the other side. Excuse me, Mama. Okay, I want you to look inside this feeder at the hay that's on the ground inside the ring. This is the hay that would get wasted with a normal bale feeder. When a cow takes a bite out of a hay bale, she usually takes a lot more than she needs, backs up a little bit, and drops a bunch on the ground, and then goes in for a fresh bite and stands on the stuff that she just dropped. With this feeder, the stuff that falls out of their mouth, most of it lands inside the ring, and they get a chance to eat it again rather than trampling it into the manure. When we first bought one of these bale feeders, we went from feeding a round bale every 5 days to feeding a round bale every 7 days. That is a big difference. I mean, if you think about it, going from feeding a bale every 5 days to feeding a bale every 7 days, just in our first year, with only 8 cows, we saved 13 round bales of hay over the winter feeding season. That's an unbelievable payback on year 1. And the feeder has a 5-year warranty, so it's definitely already paid for itself, and it's going to continue to. Now, what really sold me on the Hay Manager before we even got one was the video on their website. They've got a durability video that shows them ramming the bale feeder around with a bale spear while there's a bale in it. The sheet metal on this thing is really thick. I like to not make a huge deal out of the stuff that we sell because I don't want this YouTube channel to be a giant infomercial, but I've been asked multiple times about this feeder, so I thought I'd mention it today. So anyway, you can go to haymanager.com and you can get a list of dealers there. We're actually not on the list because we're a dealer for a local distributor here in Northeast Iowa. If you're anywhere near us, you can shoot me an email and I can get you a feeder, or check out the Hay Manager website and figure out if there's a dealer near you.